Hi, this is the Betamax Man. First time I worked on this VHS machine. This is a Daewoo VHS. And what I was doing is, well, I wasn't feeling very good that day. I started to feel worse and worse. And this was a couple weeks ago. And I just quit. I just stopped working on it. So today I worked on it again, and I got this thing to play. Now, I don't know if it's going to be playing at the right speed, but let's just see if we can get it going. So it does seem to be playing a tape now, and it does seem to be working. What I did was replaced the capacitor on the capstan motor. I cleaned the mode switch, and that has seemed to have got it up and going again. So this is cool because it's working. It's working again. And you know what the interesting thing is? This has the video head drum motor is a Sony, made by Sony. So we'll take a look at the bottom here. But we'll hook it up. Let's hook this thing up and see if we get a picture. What I do want to do is do a cleaning on the heads here. These belts are, this belt is in good shape. This belt is in bad shape, and the same with this one. I don't know if I have a belt that's going to work with that or not. This one, you know, it could be, it needs to be replaced too, but it's not nearly as bad as this one. So this one will probably need to be taken off, but we've cleaned the mode switch, and then we've recapped the motor here. So this is also a Sony. So apparently maybe this was made by Sony, or they just used Sony parts. Now, believe it or not, but Sony actually originally invented the VHS system. Now, at that time, it was a prototype, and it was not called VHS, but it was the VHS system. And Sony decided to go with the beta system. They came out with the VHS, and then they came out with the beta, and they decided that they were going to go with the beta system because the picture quality. And then JVC got a hold of Sony's information, because Sony did kind of share too much information, and JVC got a hold of the, you know, information that they needed and called it the VHS system. So, believe it or not, I know that you guys probably don't believe me, but this is true, and also 12-volt vids will back me up on this, because I even was watching a video and he was talking about the same thing. He worked for Sony back in the 80s, and he knows what he's doing. He's very good at what he does. You know, he was also talking about how Sony actually came out with the VHS system first. But it was a prototype, and it wasn't called the VHS. It was just prototype. But I also have this on my wall. We invented the competition. That is actually documented. That is proof that, so if you don't believe me, this is proof. So anyway, let's get this thing hooked up. And you can see this is the capacitor that I used to replace the old one, because this is a 16 volt at 47 microfarad, and that seems to have done the trick. I think this was playing, but it wasn't, like, I think I got it playing and it wasn't playing at the right speed, and then it completely quit. And but now I got it to where it's playing. What I can do is replace that idler tire, because I do have tires, but this tire doesn't. This tire's actually in good shape because I'm feeling it with my finger, and it feels like it's in good shape. So I'm not gonna mess with that tire. I'm gonna leave it on there because it feels in really good condition. The rubber is nice and soft. There's nothing wrong with that idler. So let's get this thing hooked up, and let's see if we can get video. Let's see if we can get this machine to work properly, because if we can, and I can put it all back together, and I can either sell this or I can just keep it around as a extra VHS player. Okay, it's going into the input of the 1000. Alright, let's just see what happens. There we go. She's working. She's fixed. Fantastic. So the capacitor has done the trick, because the capacitor is now running. That capacitor was replaced. It's now running at the right speed. However, we have no audio. I know why. I had it hooked up to the wrong one. Okay, we had it hooked up in the wrong spot here. It's fixed. It's working. It's repaired. So we have our sound now. I can't show much of the picture because I don't want to get copyright strike, but we'll show small portions of the screen. That way I don't want to get hit with a copyright. So rescuer is down under. But I have this film on beta too, so seems to be working good. So we now have a working VHS machine. How great. This is, no, you're not getting the cat food. This is my mom's dog. I'm babysitting her for today. This is, her name is Lady, and she's a Newfoundland, and she's a pain in the ass, and I don't like dogs too much. Come on, show your face. Come on, show your face. I want to see how cute you are. You puppy. She's about 6 months old, I think. Yeah, she's about 6 months. But, she's one of these really very high energy dogs. So, but we're going to go ahead and see. Come on, okay, get down, get down, down. Oh, okay. Let's just see if we got fast forward, which we do, and is a 2-head, so it's not going to have very good search. So putting the replacement of the capacitor, cleaning the mode switch has restored this machine. Now it's going to need to be lubricated, but I'll do that probably a little later because this is not really going to be used. This is a mono machine, so it's just a 2-head mono. It's not, you know, like one of those nice models. It's just a cheap machine that I can play my tapes back if I want to. But I do have another, I mean, I have a super VHS machine that I use to play back videotapes, you know, VHS tapes if I want. So what I'll do is maybe I'll just go ahead and clean the heads, and we'll put this thing, we'll clean the heads, and that'll be all, that will be all she wrote, because this thing is now working. Like I said, I wasn't, it was a couple weeks ago. I haven't worked on this for a couple weeks, but I was not feeling good a couple weeks ago when I was starting to work on this, and then I was like, well, you know what, let me see if I can get it going again. So I'm going to put the bottom back on, but I do want to find, we do need to see if I can find a belt for this, because I do have some belts. I have some small belts, so I probably have one for that, maybe. I'm pretty sure I'll have one of these, so I can replace the belt and then put this all back together, because I know that this thing wasn't, when it was playing, it wasn't playing at the right speed. I do remember that. And it was, there was no video, there was audio but no video, and the audio didn't sound very good either. Well, that's due to the fact that this thing is not playing at the proper speed, and that's what the issue was. And the dirty mode switch. Now this mode switch was probably one of the easiest that I've ever done as far as VHS machines. I don't repair VHS machines much because I'm not interested in them. I don't care nothing about VHS, so usually I don't even do them. But I decided that you know what, I'm gonna do it. So, and that's what I did. But it does have HQ. Now HQ did increase the video quality a little bit. It was to kind of equalize the picture quality to Beta 2. So Beta 2 recordings, you know, even Beta 2 had a really good quality picture. And so when VHS, what they did was they decided to invent the HQ, stands for high quality. And that really did help with the image. It did produce a better quality picture. So I think HQ is really nice to have, because you don't see this on a lot of the VHS machines. Didn't have the HQ, so this might actually be a really good deck to use for digitizing VHS tapes, because of the fact that it has the HQ. And all of the pre-recorded VHS tapes from like the mid-80s all the way up to the early 2000s were recorded with the HQ quality. So this has been recorded with HQ, and now it'll play back. So it does seem to struggle a little bit, and that's due to the bad belt. So it struggles for just a second, and then it starts to play properly. But that quality is close to Beta quality. But the problem is that VHS, there's a lot of color bleeding. VHS has a whole lot of color bleeding, which was another thing I didn't like about VHS. But you know what? Other thing that we could do is we could rebuild the head amplifier. This is the head amp right here, and we could actually rebuild it. And you know, we could. Why would we do that? Well, just for fun. We could just rebuild this just for fun, you know. But maybe we'll do that on another video. You know, we'll probably go into the power supply and check for bad capacitors in the power supply. We'll do a real good, thorough job on this. You know, because this does have HQ, so that actually makes me want to use this machine as a digitizer. Just because it has that. You know, not all of them did. You know, they kind of shied away from that, I think, in the 90s. They would just cheap crap. They went really crappy in the 90s by, after about 1993, 94, they started making them in China. And China really started to destroy the build quality. The build quality was not there when they started manufacturing in China. Japan had pride in what they did, as well as the Americans. We had a lot of similarities because Japan's back then had pride in what they did, and they cared about how they did things. And they, you know, you could look at this chassis. This is a it looks like an aluminum chassis, or it may not be aluminum, but it's not aluminum. No, this is not an aluminum chassis, but it is metal. So this is a metal chassis, and this Daewoo is very well built. Yes, we're gonna have to clean the old grease off and apply some new lithium grease on the gears there. So we do need to do a service on it, but I think for right now I'm just gonna get it all back together. Just put it back together and clean the head, put it back together for now, and we'll come back. We'll come back to this at a later date. Let's just see what model number, because I don't remember what the model number on this thing is, but I do know that it was made in Korea, not Japan, but it was made in Korea, which is almost as good. Okay, so it's a, what is it? DVR33SR01. That is a long model number. But here's another number over here, FCCIDC5F7NF. What's the model number then? Because it's not really clearly marked as to what the model number is, but you can see how well this thing was built, you know. You know, you got your transformer there, your fuses, you got your capacitors, you got some integrated circuits, there's your resistor. Yeah, it's pretty stout. Actually built very well. Actually really like this machine, and yeah, I'm using a adapter. This is a Y adapter so that you can have 2 channels of audio. Because this is a mono, so you need to take the mono signal and split it into left and right. Because I've seen people record with mono machines and they don't get the adapter, so you're not going to get a left and a right, you're only going to get a left. So put one of these on. My advice is to put one of these Y adapters on. That way you'll have your left and your right audio. So it'll turn it into linear stereo, is basically what it'll do. And this mono machine plays back hi-fi tapes just fine. It's not going to play the hi-fi audio track, but it does play back the stereo track. It plays it back in linear stereo as long as you have this adapter. I mean, it's my good friend Anthony, he would know all about this particular chassis. He would know. This kid's very, very knowledgeable on VHS machines. And maybe you could tell me who this was made by, because I see a lot of Sony parts. The capstan is Sony, the head drum is Sony. That looks like a Sony motor. So maybe this was made by Sony, or they just used Sony parts. I'm not really sure. But let's clean the heads. There's quite a bit of dirt on the audio head, and the capstan, and then the pinch roller also was dirty, as you can see. And you may not be able to see it on camera, but there was some dirt that's not really showing up. But there wasn't a lot of dirt, but you can see there. Can you see the? So it's trying to make it so you can see, but you can kind of see a little bit of dirt. I know that I did clean the heads on this already, but I went ahead and did it again. But let's go ahead and we'll just put the tape in. Yeah, that belt's slipping pretty good actually. But we now have good picture quality, so this was a sealed VHS that I got, but it had rental stuff all over it, so it was most likely resealed is what happened. Or sometimes movie companies will put the stickers on for the rental company, and then they seal it and then they ship it. As you can see, this is good picture, but there's a lot of color bleeding. Well, why does the color bleeding happen? Well, mainly because the VHS just had really bad picture quality. You know, just the color bleeding was something that was a lot with VHS format, but you don't see it so much on an analog TV. You don't see the color bleeding as much as you do on a digital television set. Let's just rewind it. Okay, well, I'm gonna go ahead and put this thing back together, and maybe we'll pull it out at another time and do a full service on it. I just was wanting to see if I can get this thing going, and I did. You have to hit stop twice in order for it to eject. This is actually a sealed tape, but it had rental stickers on it. So what I'm thinking is that this tape was made for a rental company, and they put the stickers on and then sealed it and shipped it out. But it could also be a reseal. I don't know if it was a factory seal or if it was a reseal, because this stuff was on it. And then also you can see the video company, West Coast Video. And then on this side the ink is worn off. But anyway, yeah, so this tape is probably not new. I think it might have been resealed, but seems to be working good, so we'll put it back together. And but thank you for watching, and you know, maybe the one of you guys could tell, maybe my good friend Anthony, the VCR King, maybe he can tell me who made this, because we can see there's a lot of Sony parts. The capstan is Sony, the head drum is Sony, this loading motor is also a Sony motor. So maybe it was Sony that made it, I don't know. But it's not a bad machine. So yeah, model number is DVR 3034N is the actual model number. So we'll put this thing back together, and you know, maybe we'll just kind of keep it. I'll just kind of keep it as like an extra player, and you know, that tire is in good shape. So I don't think the tire needs to be replaced, because that tire is in pretty good shape. But I do think that maybe we need to do an adjustment on the belt tensioner, because it looks a little loose to me. But anyway, so that'll be it on this video, and I'll see you guys later. Bye bye. Well, before we go, we've got it all back together, and we'll just do a final testing. So yeah, she's working good, and she's all back together. She is all back together and working good, so. Yeah, we saved this one, didn't we? We kind of saved it from the scrap heap. Anyway, there we go. I wonder if this one has... No, this one probably doesn't have the record speed. I was looking to see if maybe it had the record speed, but it doesn't. I wonder if this particular model has LP recording, because LP was it was okay, because it would give you still decent quality picture, but yet you were able to record longer. So I mean, the LP is that 4-hour speed, and they kind of did away with the LP. They a lot of the VHS machines will play back the LP speed, but they will not record it, just like with the Beta 1, where the decks will play back Beta 1, but they won't record in Beta 1. It's the same way with VHS. It's LP. Well, LP uses the same kind of, I don't know how to explain it, but LP is basically the EP speed, only it's 4 hours instead of 6. But anyway, the LP, it would be interesting to see if this has LP or not. But anyway, but it's, as you can see, it's all back together. So, and it's ready to be used. So, see you guys later. Bye-bye.